All right. Hello, everybody out there in YouTube and everybody catching the stream live at twitch.tv/the_control freak. Nice little plug there. Getting better at that. Either way, we're playing some Grixis Shadow first today. Trying out Ledger Shredder again. We tried it out a little bit last week, just as like jamming a 4 of into an existing Shadow shell, seeing what it looked like. Did not go particularly well, so this time we're trying it as a 2 of, added an 18th land, cut back on some of the little dicey pieces here and there, like an extra dress down, cut back on like the Kaidos in the main, things like that. Added these 2 copies of Ledger Shredder, so we're going to see if we can incrementally gain a little advantage with our value engines over whatever opponents we happen to run into. Otherwise, the main deck is just like Grixis Shadow has been for the last, I don't know, 6 months or so. Like 4 Drown and Lock, 4 Iteration, 2 Inquisition, 4 Thoughtseize, 4 Channeler, 4 Ragavan, 4 Unholy, 4 Shadow, and then a whole bunch of just like flex 1-ofs and a couple flex 2-ofs. In the sideboard, couple copies of Spell Pierce, Mystical Dispute for like the Murktide matchups. 2 Turok Dreadcantor for the white base removal decks. 3 Terminates. I've really been liking the Terminates for the Murktide decks. So always a good one to keep an eye out for. 2 copies of Engineered Explosives, 3 Soul Guide Lanterns, and Jegantha is our companion, since that's basically free. I could swap out the 3rd Tarn for a basic mountain. Do I want to do that? I guess Burn's like popular enough that it's not the worst. So why not? We have mismatching. Alright, sorry, old school Tarn. So let's go ahead and export this so we can update Stream Decker. If I could type Stream Decker. Stream Decker. Please join my chat. Upload. And bam. Set as current. So now the command !point deck list should be live. And let's go ahead and hop into it. Modern. Did they put the 2-player queue over the league? When did that happen? I feel like League's always been right below all the premier events. It's new and scary and changing, and I don't like it. Alright, so here's the list for everybody that has not checked it out. If you have any questions, concerns about the list, feel free to voice them in chat. And I'll tell you that I don't know the answer because nobody knows the answer. Scooch your MTGO screen over. You mean once the match starts? Yeah. But I gotta get a match started. Can't do anything about it now. Like, I don't really feel like there's a point to make the entire screen smaller, because then like everything on screen is going to be smaller. And you're right, I did ask to be reminded. Only concern I have is you're playing Shadow in 2022. I mean, that's basically all I do. I'm a one-trick pony. Alright, so that should be good. Get to reveal Jegantha as our companion. Hands okay. We've got Channeler, Bobble. We'll see what we roll into. I mean, if we weren't playing Shadow in 2022, what would we be playing? One 3 flyer with no other text is gonna fuck them up. Yeah. I could save this Bobble for turn 2, kind of depending on what we see. It's a Thoughtseize. Mirror match round 1, not a mirror match. One top, one bottom. So this is got a bit of an old school Grixis Shadow vibe to me so far. We'll see if that ends up being the case. Do I want to get Steam Vents? Nah, I got a bunch of red. I mean, Steam Vents would get red, but I don't think I want to Ragavan here. Yeah, it could be the Murktide list. Blue-black Murktide. Are they going to drop one on us here? Nope. All right. Let's get your boy down. Saying I should play Murktide in 2022? Murktide's not too high up on the top of my list. Like, the card's fine. It's a good deck. But, like, Death Shadow doesn't just fold if your opponent plays a Rest in Peace. That's kind of nice. Alright. I would like to find a third land here. Got to think about my opponent's life total a little here. Like, if I get too aggressive attacking them, I'm assuming they're on Death Shadow because they've got Street Wraiths and Baubles and Fetch Lands, and they've been pretty aggressive with their life total. So I got to make sure, like, I don't put myself in a situation where I'm just dead to a Shadow. What would I play other than Shadow? If I wasn't playing so much Shadow, I'd probably play a lot more like just Jund mid-range and things like that. Those are decks that I've been fairly versed in over the years. It's like a Drowning Lock. Or is this the Murktide? Alright, so we do get to grow the Shredder here. If I ditch an instant, I can turn on Delirium. I think I'm just going to ditch the Dress Down. Like, I'm going to go with this Channeler has to attack into Murktide, and I'm just going to, like, Channeler plus Unholy Heap to kill it. So let's go Bobble, Thoughtseize. That'll trigger our Ledger Shredder. And we can get more information before we go for an unholy heat or anything. So I want to put that on top because I want to draw into the land. And do I want to just... I guess I want to keep the shadow because I want to have that backup after all this resolves. So I'm just going to ditch the K command. So if I take iteration, they get delirium again. And I don't want this Dragon's Rage channeler to block my Dragon's Rage. So I'm going to take their Murktide. And I know I have to attack. So I think I'm just attacking with both. So they have to block something, and I get to Unholy Heat. Alright, so the block is fine. So let's go Fetch, Shock, get a Blood Crypt. No, let's get another... Get Steam Vents. Young Dingo coming in with a raid. Thank you so much. How are the speed run leagues today? Yeah, we'll take a fatal push. Say go. What's up, everybody from Young Dingo's stream? Welcome, welcome. If it's your first time here, my name's Michael, or Control Freak on Magic Online. They're good. Hope you have an awesome stream. Appreciate it very, very much. Glad to hear everything went well on your side. But yeah, for everybody coming over, we're playing some Grixis Shadow here. We're in match 1, game 1 against some, looks like some opposing Grixis Shadow. So we'll see how it goes. Playing with a couple Ledger Shredders right now. We're going to be playing after this with Jun Shadow with some Riveteer's Charms. So pretty chock full of shadow action if you're into that sort of thing. But yeah, I saw Dingo earlier was playing some Grixis without shadows. And I believe I saw some Royal Scions in there, which made me way happier than it should. Alright, so if opponent like fetches to play a Murktide, they just die, which is fun. That's not the greatest for us, not the worst. We are going to need a little bit of help. They have to attack. They can't play the Murktide this turn. Or no, they don't have to attack because they got this after. Yeah, we're fine. We're fine. So that gives us an answer to their Murktide. So we can go Thoughtseize. Put a shadow on top so we get a backup. Oh no, we took their other Murktide. I'm terrible at this. Alright, so we're still going to keep this on top. I don't know where I forgot that I took their Murktide, but it's fine. It's fine. Yep, opponent goes out on their own terms. We respect it. On to game 2. So, Terminates, Turox, Soul Guide because they're running Murktide. Maybe if it's your first time checking out the channel, this is like my maybe pile. Like maybe I bring some of this in, maybe I don't, but it at least lets me like visualize comparing this to what I'm boarding out, so I can make my decision a little better. So Dress Down's definitely coming out. Inquisition because they don't hit Murktide. Board out a Ragavan on the draw. I don't have a ton of answers to Murktide in this list. I feel like Terminate's my best answer to bring in because it kills Murktide plus Shadow plus Channeler, whatever I feel like dealing with. Could board out a Drown in the Loch, but Drown's like great against everything that's not exactly Murktide. So I think I'm just gonna go like this. Like Drown in the Loch is counter spell or removal spell against 99.9% of their deck. And hand's great. We've got answer to Murktide. We've got answer to Cheap Dudes. Shadow. Blah, 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 blah. Hand great. Grixis great. And if you've been on the channel before, you know how much I hate cracking all these baubles on turn 1. Because if I have a hand disruption spell, all you're doing is like drawing those cards into my hand disruption spell and giving me free information there. What am I doing? I'm not cracking my bauble. So am I Watery Grave or am I fetch for a basic and be conservative with my life? I think I'm just going to fetch basic and be a little conservative. So I've got basic mountains. So I don't want to crack my Bloodstained Mire yet. They could have like a, what's it called? Spell Pierce, Stubborn Denial, something like that. Drown in the Loch, Shadow, bunch of lands. We'll just take Drown. So if they want to spend a bunch of mana in life to get Shadow online, that's fine. That's free damage I don't have to do to them. So let's go Bauble, Mire, pass. Otreb, just discovered your YouTube videos, really like them, so I just followed you here. Awesome, I appreciate it. I'm glad you've been enjoying the videos. I'm getting their Dress Down, redraw on. So here, assuming they're going to play out a Shadow, I'll crack the bauble because if I see something that I like and don't want to crack the fetch, I can still Fatal Push. If I do see or don't see something I like, I can try to be more mana efficient and like crack the fetch and Drown in the Loch. Soul Guide Lantern. What do I think of Soul Guide? It's probably not really where I want to be. I think with Soul Guide, like, I would be playing it out just to sack it and exile their yard. But, like, if they exile their yard for a Murktide and I just have Terminate anyway, then I don't really feel like I need to go down that full path. So we got a counter for this, sure. Ragavan Shadow. Alright. So do I want to go Drown plus what? Probably Drown plus Ragavan. So if they don't do anything, I can attack with Ragavan and have Terminate double Shadow. I would buy that for $1. Could have also like drowned plus shadow, but shadow would be a 1/1. I'm not chumping, so I would just die to like a second dress down. And contrary to popular belief, I don't really want to just die to a second dress down. Which it's a little bit weird of a card to keep in post board. The floor of it just being a redraw is fine, but it's kind of meh. Depending on what they do, I could hit and just like add, like play a shadow, add, what's his name to my hand? Jegantha. We'll kind of see what we hit. Ooh. I would like to cast that one. So, do I want a Shredder trigger? Like, is a Shredder trigger better than just playing out multiple shadows? Probably, because I can go like Shredder, play Iteration, ditch an extra Ragavan's really great. Alright, so am I thought seizing? Am I thought seizing or am I playing Shadow? Probably thought seize, right? So thought seize to hand, channeler to the bottom, land to exile, get my land, get another red source, thought seize, K command, dress down. Let's take a K command and say go. So I could like kill my Ragavan, get back a shadow. Then I get to like terminate their shadow, play 2 shadows. They could make me discard and get back shadow, but then I'm just ditching a shadow, terminate, swing, play shadow, blah, blah, blah. Dress down doesn't really do a whole lot here. Yep. Terminate, get back shadow. We'll ditch the Blood Crypt. Alright, so let's go Shadow. Do I want to play around Spell Pierce? Probably. So we'll start with tapping correctly. Terminate you. Play you. Get our Shredder trigger. Yeah, we'll just ditch the land. Another one of you. Swing in. Alright, OP. What you got? See, like they top deck a Murktide. They can go for a main phase dress down. I know they still got the rest of the hand should just be Blood Crypt dress down, I'm pretty sure. And that should pretty well seal it up. So we'll play Channeler out just for the guaranteed value. See, Die to Aiko. Thank you so much for the follow. Hope you're having an awesome, awesome Friday so far. That is fine. Yep. Alright. A little 2-0 over our rival Nemesis. So, this variation here with the Ledger Shredders would definitely be the way of saying we're like going over the top of the Shadow Mirror. Just like another value threat. Drowns, Unholy Heat, Iterations, sure. Kind of hoping our opponent's playing something fair. Fair-ish. We've always got Jegantha in our back pocket if we need to get a threat. Forest. I was going to say, Forest was a good start. Forest plus Amulet of Vigor. A little bit less so. Then Forest plus Amulet and us drawing an extra land. Really not so great. Alright, come on, Azusa and not Dryad. Need to have a talk with our opponent. Alright, so they've got Titan mana next turn, which means I really need to iteration into something relevant. Thoughtseize is fairly relevant. Do I want Channeler? Yes. So I'll go Channeler to hand, Heat to the bottom, Thoughtseize to exile. We'll Thoughtseize our opponent here. Take their Summoner's Pact. Alright, so they do have red mana. So they can, like, play Sanctuary, the other Dryad, play the Sanctuary again, use the red on Stronghold, and haste up the second Dryad. Hit for 6. That's pretty painful. Or they just top deck another Pact for a Titan. Alright. We'll scoop to that. We can't answer the Titan right now. So. Alright. Board ends. Terminates a Turok. I've liked boarding in like an EE a little bit more recently. With Urza's Saga being added to the deck, they're way more consistent at finding amulets. So being able to answer amulets after they come down instead of just going after the hand is a lot more relevant. Bolt's pretty bad. Dress Down's great. Drown in the Lock is eh. Iteration's a little slow. K Command's okay. Fatal Push is pretty bad. Guess I'll take a Fatal Push over like the 4th Unholy. Yeah, that's so close. Because if you set yourself up to just get like Bajuka bogged out of the game, then Unholy Heat's really bad. But Fatal Push never being able to hit a Titan is really bad. And just board out extra land. I would love to play first and reveal Jegantha. Alright. What do I think? First glance, this feels like a trap hand. Like, oh, I've got a bunch of really good pieces, but like nothing lines up really well. I've got no hand disruption. If I happen to top deck a Thoughtseize, I could turn 2 Thoughtseize Shadow. I don't have a way of dealing with an Amulet. Croxa's 2 mana get the worst card out of their hand. Drown in the Lock's probably not live, so I think I'm going to ship this. This is a lot better. I've got Thoughtseize. I've got something that can be vaguely considered a threat. So what am I ditching? The high upside play here would be ditch the second land and use Channeler plus Bauble to try to find a second. I think I'm going to go with that. I think I need something to go right to win the matchup on the draw. Or on a mull, not on the draw. So we're going to choose our high upside of just being like, with all this stuff going on, we'll find a second land. And if I don't, I do have like a Delirious Channeler attacking on turn 2. So that's a non-zero clock. Cavern of Souls named Beast for our Boreal Grazer. Hands down the most annoying creature in the entire deck. Alright. Find second land, and it turns out to be the swamp that I'm pretty sure we threw away already. Alright, Shadow. So I'm going down 15-13 here. I'm going to bend the Shadow. I would much rather find a blue source for this iteration. An opponent has just got packs for days. So let's take a Dryad. Swing in. And we will go ahead and take a pact. Want that. Take a pact. Say go. So opponent's got their Cavern of Souls they picked up, another Summoner's Pact, Teleria West, and another Gruul Turf. So they can pack for a Dryad here. Honestly, I'm pretty okay with that. That one's a little more annoying. Get rid of the Shredder so I can still attack with Delirium. See if they want to crack this Relic. Nope. Probably a good choice. Let's get a second red source and see what we find off this iteration. Shadow's great because I know I can cast that. So let's go Shadow. Shadow to hand, heat to the bottom, Shadow to exile. Mainly because if I keep the Unholy Heat, it's just like locked out under this Relic. This way, next turn, I can play Shadow and terminate a Titan. What you got, OP? T West down, okay. Ragavan. So I think we're just casting out Ragavan and Shadow. Let's say they top deck an Amulet. They can play an Amulet, but they still don't have 6 mana to cast the Titan. If they have a Castle Garenbrig, they don't have a forest or second green. So yeah, we're just gonna cast Ragavan, cast Shadow. Obviously, we're in a lot of trouble if our opponent casts like an EE on one, but I don't think we're going to win the game if we're just like sitting back doing nothing. Elemental. Does that mean endurance? That's a really good one for finding out the answer. I assume Cavern of Souls means endurance. Which they should wait until after my Surveil to do this. Because now I get like the Surveil card and then the Thoughtseize. And if I just have like another way to get Delirium online, then they've got like nothing going on. Am I terminating an endurance? Am I terminating an endurance? Yes. Am I tapping right to terminate an endurance? No. Okay. Game 3 on the play, or on the draw. Opponent showed endurance is the only sideboard card. Which, I mean, I guess is fine to know about. Like, I'm not exactly shocked at them playing endurance. Is there anything I'm changing up? Could bring in Mystical Dispute as like bad mana leak, but we saw multiple Cavern of Souls. So that's probably not where I want to be. I like the extra Turok on the play a lot more than on the draw. Drown in the Loch does get a lot worse with endurance. So maybe I want to like minus a drown up an iteration. I don't hate that. No. We haven't seen Bajuka Bog, so. Reveal our Jegantha. And Thoughtseize into Ledger Shredder is not terrible, so sure. Turn 1 Seize, turn 2 Shredder, turn 3 if we find another card like land, second Thoughtseize or something. And maybe we can trigger some Shredders. There's no way they're running Veil of Summer, right? Yeah. Alright. Dryad, Titan. Let's just take the Titan. They get out of Dryad here. Or not this turn, next turn. Okay. So if I find like another fetch land, I can Shredder plus Shadow next turn. That's alright. Play the Sanctuary, pick up the Forest. Yep. Alright, so I do have to be a little careful here. Because if they have drawn like a Summoner's Pact, I could answer it with the Drown in the Lock. But I'm not progressing the game at all to do that. And if they drew a Titan, then I would just be like doing nothing and passing the turn. So I think I'm just going to hope they didn't draw a Titan or a Summoner's Pact. That doesn't bode well for me. Draw it. Punished. But like the concern was always if I just do nothing and pass with the Drown, then like I can't counter a Dryad that I know about. I can't counter a Dryad that I know about. I can't like fight over anything relevant. Alright, how do I get Delirium in my yard? If I ditch Drown, then I can't kill both the Titan and the Dryad. Well, I want to keep Drown because I need to be able to kill Titan and Dryad. All right, let's think. So Titan can get 2 Valakutes. So they've got 2 Valakut triggers. Let's say they go 7 to my face. I untap. Yeah, I guess I do need an instant anyway. Alright. So they go get 2 Valakuts. I'm going all at me. Alright, do I have a way to get out of this? So I can Inquisition the other Dryad. Unholy Heat this Dryad. They have to pay for Pact. I'm not dead to a Titan attack. Is that the way to go? It's like if I just Shadow Unholy Heat, then they can just play the other Dryad, play a land. That doesn't do anything for me. Maybe I rip like the basic Swamp here. That would be huge. Okay, Terminate answers the Titan. Duration's pretty bad. Say go. I guess I should have kept that Scalding Tarn in hand so that I could ditch it to the Shredders. Yep. So really hoping that our opponent lets us like double block here. They could get bounce land, like another growth chamber and Teleria West, and be able to transmute for a Summoner's Pact next turn. They could play Titan or go get another Dryad. That's like only if they attack with this Titan right here, right? And if they get something worse than that, then I can just like play out double Shadow. We just need to not put ourselves dead to another Dryad off the top, if we can help it. Well, while we wait, I'll give my typical thanks everybody for coming and hanging out. Greatly appreciate it. Dogfish, what's up? So we have to save the Terminate for Dryad. More than likely. So our opponent next turn, if I play out double Shadow, they can go attack with Titan, they've got Cavern of Souls. I guess they can't get Teleria. No, they've got Crumbling Vestige. So they can attack with Titan, get some bounce land and Teleria West, pick up the Teleria West, play the Vestige, get the second blue, transmute with the Growth Chamber and the Vestige mana, go get a Dryad, play the Dryad, play a land, kill us. So I either have to stop the Titan from attacking, or I have to stop a Dryad from coming into play. Or a Dryad from killing us once it comes down. So if I attack with anything, then I'm committing to stopping the Titan attack. They've got enough mana to play anything plus Stronghold off the top with haste. So if I just attack with Shredder and terminate the Titan, is that better? I know their last two cards in hand are Crumbling Vestige and Cavern of Souls. I guess attacking is better. Like, I need to get the game over with. I'm dead to a top deck creature anyway. So I should have attacked with just one Shredder instead of both. Attacking with both doesn't change the clock at all. So yeah, that was bad. I should have just attacked with one Shredder, so I wouldn't be dead to like an Azusa. Does Arboreal Grazer have Defender? I don't think it does. Okay, Drown in the Lock stops a good bit. So are we attacking with both again? Yeah. Like, now I actually need to attack with both. Or, no, I guess it doesn't really matter, because it's still a 3-turn clock regardless. Drown can't stop an actual hard cast Titan, but it can stop a pact for a Titan. And here, do I just attack with one? No. Why don't I fetch it then? You're right. I'm drawing too many lands. I need to get them out of here. Survey says... let's go. Free tips. I mean, he was right. I was drawing more lands than I wanted to draw. In the end, it's the results that matter, right? I would love to play first. And yeah, hand solid. Turn 1, Ragavan. Turn 2, Shredder. Opponent does not reveal a companion, so we have no clue what we're up against. Windswept Heath. Windswept Heath Ornithopter. I think I'm just going to attack in with the Ragavan and, like, not bolt the bird first. Finally got the Secret Lair Croxes off my friends. They are really sick. Like, I might end up trying to pick up a set of them. They are very, very dope. Stoneforge Mystic. I kind of like bolt the Ornithopter and plan on drowning a 2-drop. But then again, I could just get Ledger Shredder online. That's probably better. Yeah, let's get Ledger Shredder online. So here's a Shredder. There's a bolt for the Ornithopter. Get a free ditch on the Croxa. The next turn we get like Bobble Drown. Like Bolt Loot Away Croxa. Yeah, we're on the same page. We're just kind of a little delayed. Sigarda's Aid. That's a really good draw. That's a really good draw. I'm not ditching anything I've got in hand right now, so let's just swing. 2 for 2 on Stoneforges here. That's pretty great. With another Stoneforge on top. Oh, man. So many Stoneforges. I don't want to cast their Stoneforge and tap off Drown Push here. Like, I'm not playing their Stoneforge just for the body. You can get out of here. Well, I never need both up, but it's the fact that I can have both up, right? I'll play this first, so if I see something else I can cast into the Shredder, we will go Dress Down to hand, Blood Crypt to the bottom, Polluted Delta to exile. I can go ahead and play out this Shadow. Throw away a Dress Down. Maybe I want to keep a Dress Down. Throw away a Bauble. That's fine. Since I got this Shadow now. I've had 2 power on board. You mean with the 2 Stone Forges? Like, it's just, I'm spending 2 mana for a 1/2 body. Like, the body's irrelevant. The body does nothing. And I'm spending half of my mana on 2 separate turns for it. Like, it's pretty underwhelming. Alright, so I'm going to Dress Down before they get to get another land in play, so they can't Sigarda's Aid to like hammer up and save this. Alright, OP. Pretty sure this is where you scoop it up. Obviously, you don't know about Fatal Push K command, but not a whole lot they can do here to get back in this one. And I've still got Croxa waiting in the back. Alright, so this is currently lethal, so anything else is just slow rolling. We will kill this discard. I would love to pay 1 to prevent that. All roads lead to Rome. Alright, so Terminate's good. Turok's okay. I've never tried bringing in Spell Pierce in the matchup. I'm pretty sure it's not where I want to be, but it's at least a consideration. Especially on the draw when you can't hit a turn 1 Sigarda's Aid. Like, maybe it's a lot better on the play. I don't want to go too crazy on Croxa. Like, Croxa's nice when it's the biggest thing on board. It's really bad when your opponent's, like, absolutely bringing in Sanctifier on Vex. Now you have the argument of bringing in 1-ofs, and if they're bad, you shred them. Yeah, but we only have 2 Shredders, right? So, like, the likelihood of drawing both the Shredder and our 1-of is kind of low. But, I mean, if you're making the argument for bringing in Turok, heck yeah. We'll do that all day, but I'd probably bring in Turok anyway. Turok. Alright, reveal our Jegantha. Oh, baby. Oh, man, if these were Street Wraiths instead of Baubles. What's the likelihood our top card is a land? We got 18 out of 53. 54 would be 33%. So a little better than 33, like 35%, something like that. You know, they play Sentinel on 1. Oh, absolutely. All right, this is quite a bit better. And we'll just ditch the bauble because everything else is pretty relevant. Like, I know they're going to play a Sentinel. You know they're going to play a Sentinel. I'm shocked. They played it, and I was just like, oh my god. How do you do it? How do you always have the turn 1 Sentinel? Thought you were going to fall out of your chair from shock. Ah! Alright. Opponent has gotten their namesake card, Colossus Hammer. And a Memnite, sure. Do I just want to, like, give them the draw here to get the Esper Sentinel off the board? Kind of. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Just go ahead, give them the 1 draw. I hate it. I hate it so much, but here we are. Alright. And we'll just pass with a bunch of 2 drops up. Yeah, definitely better than taxing myself. Big agree there. It looks like they're just going for Saga here, so. I think that means I'm going to kill this Memnite. Biggest mana trade down of all time. Terminating a Memnite. Alright. Are we Channeler plus Inquisition? Are we Channeler plus Heat? I think Channeler plus Heat is fine. I want to give myself the scry at this 3rd land. Like, they could have a, what's it called? Sanctifier on Vec, but I think they're a little more likely to try to get this 3rd token or 2nd token before playing the Sanctifier. So I don't think they're going to play a super impactful 2-drop here. Oh, never mind. Shows what I know. Well, if they Paladin equip and I just get to, like, chump it, it's not the end of the world. I guess equip plus Shadow Spear is a little rough. Alright, alright. Yeah. Block 1 of it. It's kind of one of those situations, like, you just can't play around your opponent having everything. It's like turn 1 Sentinel, turn 2 Saga Stoneforge, turn 3 Make a Dude, turn 4 Paladin. It's gonna be a good bit to try to overcome. So yeah, dead this one. But we get to go back on the play for game 3, so always a plus. The Thoughtseize back in. Duration's a little clunky. Kind of want to try out a Pierce over an Iteration on the play. I usually cut them, but some people like Ragavan versus Hammer. I mean, it's not the worst on the play, because, like, if you play a turn 1 Ragavan, your opponent plays an Esper Sentinel, and you attack, you're either, like, trading 1 for 1, which you're fairly happy with, or they're letting the Ragavan through, and you get the extra mana to pay for the Sentinel, which you're happy with, so... like, it's not the worst. I would never have it in on the draw, but it's not the worst thing on the play. This is pretty bad. 5 lands. This isn't great either, but... yeah, Memnite is a disaster trade for sure. Giver, March. So if I go take Pure Steel, drown the Giver, yeah, and give myself a chance to draw a removal spell for like the Stoneforge. Also, Croxa turn 2. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to Croxa here. What you got? Discard an Inkmoth Nexus. Alright. What kind of signals does that send me? Sure, Cauldra. Did not think about Cauldra. How do we deal with that? Can we deal with that? Don't think we actually have an out to Cauldra. Our out would have been finding another removal spell there. So they play a Cauldra. We top deck a Shadow. And they get to Shadow Spear up the Cauldra. So that doesn't work too well. So I guess we should have taken the Stone Forge if Cauldron was on the radar. Which it was absolutely not. So, rough one. Should have thought about that more on the Thoughtseize. If they had a fetch land, then I think it would have been take the Giver and try to drown in the lock the Stone Forge. That would have been better for us, but just not Croaks on 2. What does not Croaksing on 2 do for us? Like, they still get to Stone Forge. We can't stop it. Until we put another card in their yard, then we can't drown anything. But, like, Drown the Giver still means they get to Stone Forge and they get to Cauldron off the Stone Forge. So, like, ultimately nothing changes there, right? Yeah, like, we had to draw something regardless. That's all I'm saying, is that whether we Croaks it on 2 or drowned on 2 didn't change that we still had to draw, like, a 1-mana spell for Stone Forge. And if we had drawn the 1-mana spell, then it wouldn't have mattered, right? Because we still could have targeted the Giver, then killed the Stone Forge in response. So, like, I think the Croxa was fine. I guess it would have been better if we'd drawn a 2-mana removal spell to drown the Giver on turn 1. Yeah. That's fair. I will agree with that reasoning. Had to have been something like Dress Down that drew removal for the Germ. So, yeah, we don't have any removal for the Germ, though. Or you mean after it loses all its abilities? Yeah. Yeah. You were right. Yeah, you do need a bunch of answers against Hammer. But I mean, for the most part, it's just like you need answers for a few specific things. But if you don't see those answers, like, win rate goes down to 0.5%. Funny, the one game where they didn't play Sentinel. Yeah, like, their hand wasn't great. We just needed another piece of spot removal in the first 3 turns. And we just, like, didn't find it. Alright, so they let us have Giver plus, or Dragon's Rage Channeler plus Bauble. So what are they on? Just another Shadow Mirror. Then you... want to keep you. Probably. Kind of assuming that just more threats are decent here. If it's like a red-black mid-range style deck, then I'd just want more threats. Ragioli. Alright. I will absolutely throw this Channeler in front of a dashed Ragavan. Opponent, don't even try me on that one. But it does pretty well confirm that it's just like a red-black X mid-range deck, so that's a plus. A little more knowledge of what we're up against. Just straight up red-black rock. You got it. Probably take my drown. Yep. Then play a bolt. No. So mean, OP. Yeah, I'm just gonna take more cards here. I know they've got a Ragavan. They're drawing an Inquisition. Rest of their hand's unknown. So if they go Inquisition dash Ragavan, they can take my Unholy Heat, hit for 2, but then I get to Iteration. That's pretty good for me. If they just take my Iteration here, then I get to Unholy Heat the Ragavan. Yeah. There's no way you still play out the Ragavan, right? All right. I guess now you do. So let's go Watery Grave dash our Ragavan. Or do I want to just play my Ragavan? Maybe I just want to play it. Yeah. Say go. 4 discard spells by turn 3. I mean, 4 discard spells and we're left with 2 Death Shadows. Like, we can't be doing that bad, right? Got another discard spell? Oh, Graven Cairns. Sure. I will absolutely throw my Ragavan in front of your Ragavan. See what they do here. Will you take the trade? Yeah, you will. Hiya. Get him. Get him. Shizo. Looks like not an answer to Ragavan. Alright. Ooh. Ooh. I want to cast that one. Like, I know I got to give up a shadow to do it, but red, whatever, red. That's fine. That's fine. We'll take it. Croxa, Titan of Death's Hunger. That'd be pretty good if I hadn't just drawn a whole bunch of cards. Alright, so we get to swing back with the crew. Fetch land's good. Hiya. I mean, I figured if they didn't scoop, like, they'd probably see their next draw step and then decide. I didn't think we'd get to see, like, multiple draw steps. So Croxa can go to hand. Watergrave to the bottom. Tarn to exile. And I can just play my Croxa. That puts them down to 2, so now they have to not only have their Croxa back, but multiple removal spells, and they cannot have all that. So, whoa. So a little Croxa, red-black rock, right? Want some number of terminates, but maybe not all of them. Poured out. Whole mess of removal or hand disruption spells. Do I want my extra Turok? Or Spell Pierce? Pierce is decent. It's not like over the top great, but it's serviceable. Let's see. How would a Shock played Shadow? You mean instead of the Croxa? Nah. Like, if I Shock play Shadow, they Croxa, I ditch my Croxa. I don't take 3. If their last top deck is something live, like Fatal Push for my Croxa or my Shadow, am I killing them there? Hit with 4. I guess I am, but I don't know. I think putting them down to 2 is fine. Like, they can't top deck removal spell for Ragavan and Ragavan Spyro, 2 tokens, plus deal with the escaped Croxa. Like, keep 2 discard, but the matchup kind of changed with Lurrus gone. Yeah, like, you don't need to hit anything late deck or late game, so all information is pretty much known and on the table. Theoretically, this would be the kind of matchup where Jegantha would look pretty good. Like, hey, we just got this 8th card that's somewhat relevant. Hand's fine. We're on the draw. We really want to see second land, but other than that, we're serviceable. Turok's bad unless you play it on curve. Turok's fine just as like a 2-mana dude. Like, it's such a haymaker matchup where they're killing everything, you're killing everything. You just need to have that last thing standing. And Turok's good for that. Alright. Maybe they'd be nice and play like a Dothy or something here. They're like, I'm going to get them. I'm going to play the Dothy into the removal spell this turn. And the next turn I can dash a Ragavan. We're like, you're so big-brained, OP. Second land. Oh, so good. So good. We've got all the craniums. The next turn we've got Expressive Iteration. So Ian redeemed Hydrate. Gotcha. Got like a giant water bottle today. This is great. Alright. They know about the Spell Pierce. They know about the Spell Pierce and they play the Liliana into it regardless. Does that mean second Liliana? Do I want to iterate here? How do I feel about Blood Moon at the moment? I guess Blood Moon would be fine because I can just like get a basic swamp, K command back Ragavan, and get an attack in. Like it's not ideal, but I'd be able to go into next turn with all my stuff available. If they don't do anything, I can just like K command them, get back Ragavan. So this will be Ditch Heat, K command 2 to the Liliana, get back Ragavan, go to my turn, dash the Ragavan, hit them, heat the Liliana. Alternatively, I could ditch Iteration, 2 to them, get back Ragavan, heat the Liliana. Did I do the second Hydrate? I can't remember. Either way, we hydrating out here. The discard an EE. So do I want to like K command? Do I want to just like K command make them discard 2 to the Lily? Is that crazy? How bad is that? 2 to Lily, make them discard. As opposed to K command, discard, get back Ragavan. K command, 2 to Lily, get back Ragavan. Let's go. Return Ragavan 2 to Lily. So then I can always just like play, depending on what I draw, I can just like play Ragavan, hold up Drown. If I'm worried about a like 1 mana removal spell here. So if they want to get rid of my Ragavan, they have to sack Lily. Just kill Lily. Alright, what you got? Survey says Hidetsugu. Alright, Hidetsugu, and they're tapped out. So, what do we got? Nothing. Alright. Hidetsugu nukes the yards, sure. Find a fetch land. Fetch land achieved. So let's go Channeler to hand, Turok to the bottom, Bloodstained Mire to exile. Let's go get a Watery Grave to get our second blue source. Play out double Shadow. Say go. Assuming one of these shadows is going to die. Nope. Maybe they have an EE. We already saw one that they exiled. Really glad they played out this Hidetsugu into us not having shadows on board. That was really kind of them. I wonder what they got. Kind of expected everything to be dead by now. And I have to decide, like, am I attacking into this Hidetsugu? Well, now I am. Now I definitely am. Hiya. No blocks, he says. No fear in opponent's dojo. So let's go blue, red. So I've got Drown in the Lockup. I've got Terminate up. Unholy Heat. Do I want an Unholy Heat? No, it's not killing Turok. They don't have any, or not killing Hidetsugu. They don't have any man lands. Okay, so we can go Shredder to hand, Shadow to the bottom, Bobble to exile. I've already played 2 spells this turn, so Shredder's not going to trigger. But it is just like a dude that doesn't die to a second Hidetsugu. Sure, we'll top a Ragavan. Don't show me second Hidetsugu. Because if they had it, I think they 100% would have cast it last turn. Now I can like trade the Channeler for a Hidetsugu. The Ragavan Fear. You got it. I think I kept a Ragavan on top, so have fun with that one. You're more than welcome to cast that Ragavan. Alright. On to match number 5. What do we got? We got a 1 die roll. That's really nice. Reveal our Pokemon. It's the right game, right? Hand solid. A little bit iffy going up against Yorion, but still a lot of good stuff. Do I want opponent mold to 6? At least 6. Still deciding on whether they're keeping this. Do I want to lead on... I kind of want to lead on Inquisition here against the Mulligan. So that if my opponent just kept a hand with, like... what's it called? Prismatic Ending, Ren and 6, something like that. Which they kept a pretty close one. So we'll take Ren. Now it's probably going to be just like play out the Ragavan next turn. So I'm under counterspell, so they can't just like go to turn 3 holding up counterspell. We've got counterspell, Odawara. Here's a Ragavan. So next turn they've got Flash and Ice Fang Coatl. We've got Unholy Heat. I want to play out this second Blood Crypt first in case they've got something like Force of Negation on my Unholy Heat. I don't want them to trade off Force Counterspell, get a redraw off the Ice Fang Coatl, and get to kill my Ragavan. It's Lightning Helix. Alright. Let's hit something good off their library. Or we hit a land. I'm not going to play out the Shadow here. I don't want to give them the free out of just like finding Solitude. Take that back. We are going to play out the Shadow here. Mainly because we saw Archmage's Charm. Like, I need to get actual relevant pressure before they just draw out of this. I do have Delirium, so I can, like, kill my own dude. If I want to go, like, attack. Kill a dude in response to Archmage's Charm taking it. Don't know why they do this after blocks. Alright, so let's add Jegantha. Pass the turn. On our opponent's upkeep, we're going to fire off a removal spell on the Ragavan. See if we can get them to counterspell it. Nope. I guess maybe they're just that afraid of Jegantha and the power that he, she, it represents. I'm just casting the Jegantha into the counterspell, right? Like, I'd rather have the Jegantha get countered than the expressive iteration. Oh, they just have another Archmage's Charm. Got it. Math checks out. Fetch land Renin 6. They have Dress Down. Alright. Was never playing around that one in a million years. Love it. Dress Down. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Man. That's pretty funny. Like, I would have played around... What was I playing around? Fetch, Shock, Renin 6, down pick on... Or down tick on my, my Jegantha. Why no block? Because I was playing around them just like dealing forward my Jegantha, Fetch, Shock, playing a Renin 6 and down ticking to kill it off. Because I just have like nothing going on after that. Let's just ditch the Shredder. Like, I wasn't going to play around Dress Down right there. Deluge, Charm, Bolt. So let's take... Bolt, Charm. This will just take Charm. Like, what upside does blocking have for me there when I get to untap with, like, Iteration, like, or Fatal Push, attacking with Croxa. Alright, what do we got? Got an Inquisition and a Channeler. Like, I really want to get down this Shadow. So I think I'm going to go Inquisition to hand, Channeler to the bottom, Delta to exile. Play out this Shadow right here. Let's see, you had EE, granted dress down was not on the radar. What do you mean I had EE? Like I had Exile Bolt, sure. I had the active what's it called? Active Jegantha. I had Fatal Push in hand. So we'll go Cryptic or Dispute to hand, Channeler to the bottom, Bobble to the top. Cryptic Command in the Year of Our Lord 2022. Got to make sure you include that part. That's actually a really rough draw for us, because now they can Otawara and keep Cryptic Command up. Which I don't like them being able to do. Or I guess I should say they can cast, like if they choose not to Cryptic Command, they can Otawara and bounce my Shadow into turn. Should have specified there. But I'm just going to try to get them to go for the Cryptic Command. So I can dispute that and then deal with the Otawara later. Because if they don't draw anything relevant here and they just have to like pass the turn holding up Otawara, then I've got Croxa. So now they have to go for Otawara. So I'm representing lethal. Yep. So you can take one, and I'll recast Shadow and hold up Drown in the Lock. Boom. Yep. All right. Game number 3. What do I want here? Spell Pierce is looking a lot better. I figured after like game 1 and 2, or game 1, they'd be just a little bit more of like a 4-color pile deck. But it seems they're really, really heavy blue. K-Command actually seems a lot worse. Holy Heat doesn't seem great. But like a Spell Pierce on the draw for a turn 2 Renin 6 would be really nice. Build Jegantha. Yeah, this is good. No shock and steam vents. Alright, so I think I want to shock in steam vents and pass. So I can Spell Pierce or Renin 6. And if they do this and go to hold up Counterspell, I get to Thoughtseize plus either Spell Pierce or Mystical Dispute. Ice down my land. I think I'm fighting over this, actually. Like, stop the draw, plus I get to Thoughtseize anyway. hand is not fantastic. Wilderness Wreck is not what I expected here. I'm just taking Charm. Wilderness Reclamation. Now they've got green mana for Wilderness Reclamation. So if I cast, let's dash Ragavan. Try to get my opponent to Unholy Heat this now. Yep. I go to second main phase, hard cast my other Ragavan. Say go. And let's have them not hit a fourth land here. Chalice of the Void on 1, sure. The terms are acceptable. Sin Young, how's it going? So far, so good. We're 3-1 in this league. Game 4 of this match. Am I casting this Growth Spiral? Yeah, well, Veil of Summer's dead now, so I just want to kick Turok. Because they can't Veil of Summer it. Calls it Chalice. That seems a lot better. Come on. I was really hoping they were going to cast that Veil of Summer there. But they actually kept Wilderness Reclamation, which is ironically like best thing they could have kept in hand there. I guess Fury might have been better. Either way. So let's go Iteration. So I'd like to draw more lands and such. Channeler can go wherever. Thoughtseize. Mountain. And now, am I doing anything? Am I playing Kroxa and holding up Mystical Dispute? No, we'll just hold up Mystical Dispute is bad mana leak in case they find fourth land for Wilderness Reclamation here. I can just like hard counter it. And if they don't, then I'm just sitting on double counter spell from like now until the end of time. Yeah, so we're just passing double counter spell. Like, I don't know if they're gonna have anything they can do to get through the counters, and if they do have a way to get through those, then I just get like untap Kroxa, escape Kroxa. That seems pretty decent for me. Cycle a Shark Typhoon. You've got it. I would like to kill a shark token. Voila. Alright. 4-1. Nice league. What do we think about everything going on here? I think Ledger Shredder was exponentially better as a 2 of than a 4 of. When we played it as a 4 of, we were just like seeing it. We don't want it as our turn 2 play. We want it as like the turn 3 or 4 play where you can play it plus another spell. And when you got 4 of them, they just kind of like clog up your hand and you have to play one out turn 2. So you can try to play like second Shredder plus spell on turn 3. which was really, really underwhelming. But Ledger Shredder as a 2 was pretty positive. The rest of just like the Grixis Shadow shell was fine. Like you kind of get to the point where Channeler, Ragavan, Shadow, Drown, Iteration are all like known quantities at this point. You know what you're getting value-wise out of those cards. So anytime you play a list with those, like there's a pretty decent floor to them. You kind of know that like your ceiling is going to be relevant, but not like cheese Shadow Battle Rage relevant. Sideboarding, Spell Pierce was good, Dispute was good, Turok was fine, Terminates were great. EE. I really want to find a replacement to EE, but I don't know what that's going to be anytime soon. So, gonna have to like experiment around with options there. Soul Guide Lantern. I think we saw one Murktide deck. How do you think main K-Command? Like, what do I think of it? It's fine. Like, if the meta gets more white-based, I don't like it. Because with all the exile effects, you're just like not getting a solid 2-for-1 more often than not. But if the meta is a lot of red-based removal, then K-Command's great. They spend removal on your dudes early, you discard them late, get them back. They might not have a way of killing anything after that. It's not really great against Murktide, but great against like Hammertime. So you kind of have to choose your battles. But overall, it's just a flex spot, and the other options would be like second Dress Down, second Bolt. Nothing like too exciting there. I guess if you're on the Kaito train, you could run a Kaito there. And I think this list is a lot more conducive to Kaito than like the blue-black Murktide list. So, just a thought. But other than that, yeah, deck was solid. I think it's got legs still. Just kind of depends on what you're wanting to hedge for. But good place to start.